Was suspect. The first time I was on an airplane, I was wearing my mask and I smelled a fart. That's when the pandemic ended for me, okay? I get the good mask, the N95. It's supposed to stop a virus. It can't stop this dude's Chipotle.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Gloves Off. I'm your host, Joey Gilbert. Let me go ahead and bring this microphone a little more in front of me. I know Travis will appreciate that. I want to welcome everybody, as always. Why are we here? Why do we do this? Why do we come on, once a week and talk some smack? It's because, like I say, I want to make sure that we leave something for the younger generation, that we stood for something. We stood for the truth. Okay, we spoke truth to power. And we didn't let the fake news, Operation Mockingbird media, just, gloss us over like they do every single night. Anytime you watch the media, you see them, they report, a fraction of the stories, not really anything that's happening out there. And 90% of it are lies, 95% of it. So again, Gloves Off is about punching back, about giving you guys the information so you and your families can make, the decisions for yourself. And I'll say this, we've been brainstorming on Gloves Off, both Amanda, Travis, Evan, and we are going to be doing it. We're going to be launching into another format, into a newer format, in the next couple weeks ahead, where I don't really want to do news, so to speak, anymore. I feel like there's other topics that I'd like to chop it up over and have a little more fun over. And it might be one topic. We might just, have some fun with some of the topics and not try and get through headlines and whatnot. Although I do think it's important to touch on things that are taking place across the country. Before we get rolling, let's always thank one of our sponsors, Z-Stack. We always love to thank Z-Stack and tell you guys to be smart about your immunity, about your health. Get this, Gloves Off, promo code Gloves Off, 15%. And again, you guys see what's in there. Everyone should be on this stuff. They're talking about Disease X. They're talking about releasing more stuff. Stay on your game, stay on your nutrition, stay on your health, stay on your Zelenko protocol. Don't forget Dr. Zelenko. What an amazing man. And get your Z-Stack with a discount, Gloves Off. So there we go. And then, most importantly, I want to plug upcoming. So you guys know Dr. McCullough is a friend of the show. May 22nd, we'll have Dr. McCullough on here. And I'm really excited to bring Dr. McCullough on. As you've seen, some of the topics he's going over with regards to the vaccine, it is now proven beyond any, a reasonable doubt, is, the criminal defense word, but proven by any shadow of a doubt that the vaccine was not good. It was no bueno. There was absolutely not one positive thing that came from it, despite what these absolute lunatics say. I lost friends over this. I lost awesome people in my life that I would love, that they still can't just swallow it and understand you were wrong. You got conned, okay? And for you to still talk about how this thing did anything for you or your family is insane. Like, you either can't read, you don't want to read, you can't process simple data. It's brutal, man. Every time I hear someone say, well, but the vaccine saved so-and-so's life. No, it didn't. You're actually lucky they didn't die from it. And if they did catch COVID, which everyone that got the vaccine caught COVID, then they actually were helped by the fact that their natural immunity, the antibodies that were produced by their bodies, not the spike protein vaccine. So anyway, another thing we want to talk about, anyone calls me a grifter, remind them that all content dropped on the Substack is for free for the first 24 hours. So again, guys, we're just trying to make sure you have information. Join the Substack, joeygilbert.substack.com. It's important that you follow, that you like, that you share, and that you subscribe. look, man, we can't do this for nothing. And I've got a whole team behind me, and we would appreciate your support and your subscription. So without that, Travis, let's get ready for some WTF news.
WTF news.
So grading for equity, promoting students by banning grades of 0 and leaving no class cut-ups behind. Boston Public Schools approved a shift to equity grading. This is really going to do wonders for everyone. And Oregon, Portland Schools is making plans to implement similar grading reforms by 2025. Don't do shit, don't pass shit, don't learn shit. You won't know shit, but you can head out into the world. And thousands of New York and Los Angeles teachers have been trained in equitable grading practices. Districts in California, Nevada, of course, Clark County, New York, and other states have also adopted the program. Clark County, Nevada schools, 49th or 50th in the nation. Let's just go and sink a little lower. Why not? Its practices include the removal of behavioral and cutting and calculating grades, the end of penalties for late assignments. That should work wonders with people trying to get employed. Allows students to retake exams. I don't really have a problem with that. And a ban on zeros as the lowest mark, because we wouldn't want anybody to get an F or a 0. At least give them some points, because that's how it is in real life. If you don't show up to work, you'll get nothing. So start teaching these kids that if they don't show up to work, but they had every intention of going to work, maybe they'll get 25 cents. That's really smart. Where do you guys get these ideas? Grading for equity, however, stirs enough dissent among teachers and parents that some districts have dropped the difficult revamp in midstream. Shocking. They say the reforms are a form of leniency that brings out the worst in some students. Wow. Hurting the very students needing help. Well, that's amazing. So here's another one. And again, I posted, Travis, we were having dinner later that night. I posted something on Southwest Airlines. I was flying to Vegas, and it was funny. I'm flying to Vegas, and I noticed for the first time, actually, I think I noticed before. It was the first time I posted, but the Southwest snack packs have a bioengineered food agent in them. Like, I mean, why? Like, why? You can't put this stuff in these products in other countries. Why are they doing this to us? Like, we have the most unhealthy nation on the planet, and they just keep putting garbage in everything. And no one says a word. You got these fruitcakes out screaming about, you're protesting here and there. They're protesting about climate change, but they're literally destroying us, okay, with the chemicals and the garbage they're feeding us. They're spraying us. They're putting our drinking water, and no one says a word. And then here we go. We have something about Walmart having canned corn that now contains lead. Roll the tape, Travis. Roll the tape.
You're about to be really pissed at them, and let me tell you why. They have made some major changes to their canned corn. I'm going to point out 5 of these things, and the 5th one, you might never shop at Walmart again. So here's an older can of corn from my pantry, and we're going to compare the two with this newer can of corn, okay? Number 1, it says that it is picked and grown on the same day. It has this green little "Great for You" label here. Over here, it says that it's from Arkansas, has 45 calories. What else is it? Oh, and it's gluten-free. Okay, let's compare that to the second can. Right away, the biggest difference, the second can is a product of Thailand. Looking at the nutritional information, we went from 45 calories to 90 calories. There's more sodium, there's more carbs. Apparently it's no longer picked and packaged on the same day like this one, and it's no longer gluten-free. It also lost that "Great for You" tag. Let me tell you why. On this new can of corn from Walmart, there's a health warning. Let's read it. Warning: consuming this product can expose you to chemicals, including lead, which are known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm. I guess that's reason enough to lose the "Great for You" symbol that was on this can. So go into your pantry, check out your canned corn. If you're ticked off as much as I am, let Walmart know.
Yeah, let Walmart know. I'm sure they'll be eagerly awaiting your commentary or your complaints. So here's another one. This is crazy, but it's, again, it's, I'm going to say, new study, COVID-19 mRNA injections linked to new onset psychosis. Well, I think this is true. I met some really cool people during the pandemic, and a bunch of them are batshit crazy now. They seem pretty normal, like they'd be cool to hang out with. And then they kept getting those injections, and now they're not the greatest people on the planet anymore. So a new study published in Frontiers of Psychology conducted a systematic review of case reports and case series on new onset psychosis following COVID-19 vaccination from December 1st, 2019 to November 21st, 2023. It found that 95.8% of patients had hallucinations, delusions, and paranoia. The duration of psychotic symptoms ranged from less than 2 weeks to greater than 2 months, and blood test abnormalities were detected in 50% of the cases. Only 50% of the cases achieved full recovery. So I don't know what your definition of a bioweapon is, but anything that's making you hallucinate, have delusions or paranoia, or that 50% then had abnormal blood tests, yeah, I'm going to call that a problem. The majority of patients experience psychosis following the administration of the first 45% and second 50% vaccine doses, with noticeable variation in the incidence of primary psychosis after receiving the third dose, 4.2. In general, symptoms manifested rapidly within 0 to 7 days, which would explain why some of the most insane, just unhinged, triggered nut jobs you see out there now got 1 or 2 of these shots. I mean, I don't see anybody else freaking out and losing their shit like these people do. Maybe it explains it. Nicole Siratek, our girl up in Elko, Nevada, autoimmune hepatitis after COVID-19 injections. Now get this, doctors remain baffled, even though if you do any amount of reading on this stuff, you can easily find, and it's all hidden in the data, their doctors are baffled, probably because they were idiots and they never should have been recommending this in the first place. Roll the tape, Travis.
It's Nicole Saratek with American Frontline Nurses, and I'm just here to let you know that there is a huge autoimmune hepatitis situation going on across at least the United States, Canada, and the UK. Doctors are baffled. They can't seem to understand what's going on, while all of a sudden we're having these autoimmune hepatitis cases popping up everywhere. I mean, I'm completely perplexed as to what is going on with all these autoimmune hepatitis cases. The organ transplant lists are now getting just completely slammed with these types of patients that develop these random autoimmune hepatitis cases that completely leaves doctors baffled. I don't know, guys. What do you think it could possibly be that's causing all of these increased autoimmune hepatitis-like syndromes that have been starting ever since 2021?
I think Nicole's being somewhat sly there, if I know her. I'll tell you what it is. It's the jibber jab, and a lot of you knuckleheads got it, and now you're wondering why you have failing health, all kinds of problems, turbo cancers. And yeah, it definitely is not the one thing that was added at the end of 2020. It's definitely not that, because it couldn't be that. You wouldn't allow it to be that. It just absolutely is anything other than that, because you'd be wrong. And we know you wouldn't own it if you're wrong. You just blame everybody else and then call me a racist. Yeah. So it's the jibber jab. Welcome to my world. Next one. Japanese study finds significant increases in cancer deaths after third mRNA COVID dose. So line them up, Jack. Get ready, get your boosters, keep it coming. By all measures that we can now see, if you're following the COVID booster, you are on booster number 12. I am living here. I'm living great. I have known nothing. I had COVID once, well, technically twice. I gave it to myself once. Jonah Gold and I were conducting an experiment. Wasn't the smartest thing I ever did, but I did it, and it was amazing. And I got it, but I got right through it. So now, Japanese peer-reviewed study found statistically significant increases in cancer mortality, especially after the third COVID jibber jab. Japan is the country with the highest vaccination rates. Now, of course, we're just making this up. Of course, this is nonsense that none of you guys have to listen to because you don't want to believe it because your stupid little brain won't let you. You can't process this, right? It's just not fair. There's no way the most highly vaccinated country is reporting this. I guess it's just made up because it doesn't flow with your narrative, and your poor little head wouldn't be able to, accept this, would it? That's how out of whack we have become in this country. Because you don't like the facts, because you don't agree with the facts, then they're not true. Fucking nuts, man. So they analyzed official Japanese government statistics to compare age-adjusted cancer mortality rates during the COVID-19 pandemic 2020 through 2022 with pre-pandemic rates. And tell him what he's won, Bob. They cited studies showing that the mRNA can be reverse transcribed into the human genome, potentially leading to chronic inflammation, which, as everybody knows, is the cause of all problem in cancer and disease, DNA damage, and increased risks of cancer. The number of deaths from all cancers was highest in the 80 to 84 age group. More than 90% of people age 70 and older have received a third vaccine dose. Gosh, what would you call that? So, if I wanted to get rid of what they have referred to as useless people or the just mouth breathers or the aging population that's only sucking resources, what would it be called? Oh, there's Mandy. Winner, winner, winner. Chicken dinner. They're killing off the old folks. Hey guys, if anybody's watching here, get in the chat. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. And I'm going to be real with everybody. We are absolutely thinking, Travis called this today, we're going to have to form a new Facebook page. We're going to have to get a new Twitter account because there's no way we can be doing what we're doing, posting what we're posting, and not move a single follower in 2 years on Facebook. 2 years. Still shows me at 12,462 or something like that. So if you're on there, send something in the chat. So here's what I've got to say about this, though. Conclusion. Statistically significant increases in age-adjusted mortality rates of all cancer and some specific types of cancer, namely ovarian cancer, leukemia, prostate, lip, oral, pharyngeal, pancreatic, and breast cancers were observed in 2022 after 2/3 of the Japanese population received the third or later dose of SARS-CoV, blah, 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 vaccine. You know what's funny? I've got friends. Well, I don't even know if they're friends. They were super healthy people. They were training for all kinds of stuff. All of a sudden, their energy levels aren't there. They've had ovarian things or stuff with their bodies that weren't there before. Not till after they got the jab, but it definitely is not the jab. It's definitely anything but the jab. I'm crazy. I had no right to say anything about it because I'm nuts, but now all the data's out. And these folks are even data people, data folks, and they still won't acknowledge it. It's freaking scary, man. So moving on to this one, I like this. I almost, hit my table down too hard. My camera would shake. So here's another one. This is awesome. College libtard says the quiet part out loud regarding illegals and elections. Now, so before we roll this video, if you guys remember, I've been saying this now, go back, watch the tape. I mean, I don't have to play a game with you guys. I don't have to ever do anything besides say, I was right. But I said, why else would they leave open? Let's just think about this. Why else would they leave open the border? Okay. So if you got a bunch of people that have been waking up, and really there have been, there's folks, I've got friends, both on the D side of the aisle, some are independents. And they've had it. They've had it with happening in this country. You see Mayor Adams. My God. I mean, I thought hell was just freezing over. I just watched a video where he was saying he'll be damned if they're going to take down the American flag. I mean, I saw, Nancy Pelosi's vodka must be freezing over, according to the quote on there. So people have had it. Black demographic, African American, whatever you want to call them. Okay. I don't get it. There's these different demographics of folks anyway. But let's just say this. The friends I have, okay, across this country, no matter what they are, red, white, green, blue, black, brown, they've all had it. They can see it's common sense. They're leaving the border open because as these guys get fed up with the nonsense, as these guys get done with the games being played, they have to bring in people that will vote for their shenanigans, right? So if you bring people in from countries that were dependent on the government, that have lived that way, and you tell them vote for Biden, they're going to vote for Biden. And that's what they're doing. And this is happening everywhere. Every time I open a headline, I see that in another state, another county, they're trying to give illegal immigrants, okay, illegal aliens. They're not immigrants. They're illegally here, okay? People that have broken law to come here, and now they want to let them vote in our elections. And who do you think they're going to vote for? Whoever they're told to vote for. So, Travis, let's roll the video on what this complete idiot says and how he drops dime. And it says exactly what we've all known. The illegals are coming here to vote, and they're letting them vote, and they're going to do it because they think they're going to win in a landslide by letting illegal folks vote in our elections. It's disgusting.
Lowest unemployment in 60 years, baby.
What about inflation? You have any questions about inflation?
Inflation's going down.
Actually, it's going up.
It's going down. Gas prices are down. Gas prices are down. Inflation is down. Cope, seethe.
Why is the Fed then raising rates? How many illegals are coming across the border every day?
A lot.
So about 10 to 15,000 a day. Do you think Joe Biden...
And they're all going to vote Dem.
You're okay? Can you say that again?
The illegals? Well, illegals. Yeah, they're coming here. They're going to vote Democrat, and we're going to win.
So you are admitting that you're admitting the border is a political tactic by the Democrat Party. Joe Biden is opening the floodgates of this country because he wants to hold on to political power. We've been saying this for a long time.
Proof.
You just admitted it. What is he doing to secure the border? When you have 15,000 people a day coming across your southern border,
who cares?
That is not a mistake.
Who cares?
But who cares? Do you believe in borders?
I believe that... No borders, no. One world government.
And final pitch for Joe Biden? No borders, lots of war, more spying, and bankrupt the country?
He's still going to win.
You guys might win an election, but that will be the death of America if that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, we already know what they're doing. I mean, it's finally that they're coming forward. I mean, you know that guy's a paid little shill, a little troll, a little ugly, godless freak. And again, out there calling about one world government. I mean, again, these people want this country to end. They don't even know what they want in terms of like what their long-term, goal or future looks like. They just don't like Trump. They don't like America. They don't like, freedom as we have it, as we call it here. And so they're just out there again. Like when you see these mindless idiots, and I see them all over the place. You see these zombies walking through the airport with their masks on. I mean, young guys that are my age, guys that are 25 years old in their K95. I mean, it's like they can't. I mean, you just saw the video. Someone farts on the plane. You could smell it. Guess what, stud? Your mask isn't doing a thing for you. But go ahead. Keep wearing it. All right. You're that brainwashed. You're that brain dead. You're that unable to think for yourself. You think it's doing something for you. You know what? At this point, what does it matter? Because these guys have to be stopped. And I hope to God we stop them. Although, you know what? It is scary to know that they've opened the floodgates and they're doing everything they can to allow these people to vote. So, here's some of the stuff that's interesting. Federal government is giving voter registration forms to non-citizens. We've already reported that the process to allow illegals to vote is happening in Arizona, D.C., Florida, and now a South Carolina state representative reveals that the federal government is giving voter registration forms to non-citizens. U.S. Representative Adam Morgan, South Carolina, revealed that a refugee was given a voter registration form within a packet while at the Social Security office in Spartanburg, South Carolina. A refugee sent us this form that was given to her in a packet at the Social Security office in Spartanburg. The same refugee has a relative. We also received voter registration forms in the mail and mailed them back thinking it was an accident. A few weeks later, they received more forms from the government. The name of the mail campaign is Every Vote Matters, Every Vote Counts. Oh, boy. Anyway, I love this one, though. 5 West Virginia middle school students banned from future competitions from refusing, get this, to compete against a transgender athlete in a track event. Well, if there's not any way to bring fairness, they're just going to go ahead and ban the kids standing up for what's right and what's not make-believe and not plain pretend. So 5 West Virginia middle school students have been banned from future track events after refusing to compete against a transgender athlete, a biological male. The incident has now drawn the attention of the state attorney general, Patrick Morrisey, who is seeking intervention from the United States Supreme Court for the second time. So eventually we're going to beat these complete lunatics, these sickos, these freaks with mental health conditions back. Because if you're a dude, if you were born with a dick, you're not a chick, and you don't get to compete against the girls. I said what I said. Let's roll the video, Travis. Sickos. You know what, guys? Sickos. Any guy that wants to compete against women for the sake of competing against women because you were a failed male athlete, you have a mental health issue. You need treatment. You need therapy. You need to stay the hell out of women's sports. So the controversy centers around the Save Women's Sports Act, House Bill 2917, which was challenged on April 16th after a lawsuit was filed on behalf of Becky Piper Johnson, a 13-year-old transgender biological male middle school track athlete. Becky Piper Johnson, get a clue, dude. The lawsuit argued that the law, by restricting transgender students from participating in sports teams that align with their gender identity, violates both the Equal Protection Clause and Title IX, which is aimed at preventing sex-based discrimination in education. In his ruling, Judge Toby Haytens wrote, offering BPJ a choice between not participating in sports and participating only on boys' teams is no real choice at all. Yes, Judge, he has a dick, and he should participate in the males' team, in the male sports. I'm sorry you didn't figure that out in law school. To think all you have to do is oppress women and take away their opportunities is pretend to be one. Amazing. Reminder, high school boys track and field outperform Olympic women. The gap is so obvious and glaring. And when it comes to shot put, the high school boys throw a heavy shot put 12 pounds compared to the women's Olympics who throw an 8-pound. Stats. Those are those inconvenient facts again, guys, right? Just inconvenient facts that no one wants to hear about because I'm transphobic. No, I'm real phobic. I'm normal phobic. I'm like logical, reasonable phobic. Okay? You can't pretend to be the other sex, no matter how hard you try. So here's another one. CISCO is instructing their employees to confront people who use the wrong pronouns and misgender. They also warn against using someone's dead name, I'm not sure what that means, or groups calling of people ladies and gentlemen because it's disrespectful to live in reality. Well, CISCO, great job. You suck. So here we go. Here's a good one, though. No video, though, Amanda. When sex is a biological fact, the NHS declares in a landmark shift against gender ideology. Well, apparently they're getting it right in the United Kingdom, but over here, we're still lost. The transgender agenda, the belief that men can simply say they are women and they are women, has hit a little bit of a snag. Headwinds, as one would say. With a new decision by the National Institute or National Health Service, we're in the NHS, we're in the United Kingdom. A report in the Telegraph explains that the organization that serves the healthcare concerns of millions has proposed a definition change that states, get ready for it, drum roll if we could, Travis. Sex is a matter of biology, right? The report noted that it's a landmark shift against gender ideology. One more time. They proposed a definition change that states sex is a matter of biology, like we've always known it to be, like we know it to be, okay? Because a tiger can't tomorrow decide that it's a lion, right? Or a lion, tiger, whatever. Well, you know what I'm going from. Anyway, the changes are coming as part of an update to the organization's constitution that is required to be reviewed every 10 years and was last done in 2015. Lots changed since 2015. Lots changed. But now the Constitution change states we are defining sex as biological sex. So, guys, you got to think about this. It really is interesting because across this country now, people are losing their minds. You got to call them what they want. No, I don't. No, I won't. I'm not going to call. You're a dude. And you know what? I really am. I'm one of those guys that's just praying for my viral moment, for some, little fairy, some little Alice to go, tinkering into the bathroom behind my daughter so I can go in there and have my moment, right? Who doesn't want to do that? Because you've got these psychopaths saying, oh yeah, just try me out and you're going to go viral. Nobody. You're going to go viral. You're also going to leave on a cot, all right? So on a stretcher, and that's how it's going to be. And again, where are my Democrat dads? Guys, just stop. Have we reached a point yet? In England, they're saying sex is biological. When are you guys going to stop listening, being told what to do by your crazy wife with purple hair, okay, and out of her mind, unhinged? Now we know why she's unhinged. She got 3 shots. So just tell her, stop, okay? That's not good for you. Knock it off. We're not calling this dude a woman because that's what he prefers. He was born a dude. We're going to call him dude, and he's not going in our daughter's bathroom. He's not joining our daughter's sports team, and we're going to stand up together. Let's do that together, right? Let's do it together. So I love this one, though. Got to love DeSantis. I told you guys, he's America's governor. We know that Amanda has thrown Kristi Noem out the window. So have many others because she's shooting puppies. And I didn't really think it was like the best look either. But I've now seen I don't know what she was doing. I don't know why she thought that was like smart. It wasn't smart, Kristi. It was kind of silly. But you know what? Let's see this. What are we saying? We're flowing to Florida. Can cut out this one anytime. Yes, cut. What are we cutting? I don't know what we're cutting. I guess that some of these things were labeled differently. Doesn't matter. Travis will fix it in post. But let me tell you this. So DeSantis responds to Joe Biden's war on women, proud abolishment of Title IX, and says, we will not comply. So Travis, we have a video, I think, on America's governor now, all right? Because we're going to say that, DeSantis. Can we play the DeSantis video or do we not have it?
Florida rejects Joe Biden's attempt to rewrite Title IX. We will not comply and we will fight back. We are not going to let Joe Biden try to inject men into women's activities. We are not going to let Joe Biden undermine the rights of parents. And we are not going to let Joe Biden abuse his constitutional authority to try to impose these policies on us here in Florida. We stand with opportunities. We are not going to let Biden get away with it. We will not comply.
I love that. Well, Governor DeSantis, you need to move that pin of yours a little bit over. I don't like where it was placed on your lapel. But anyway, you know what, guys? So you got to really think about this. Biden comes out. He rewrites Title IX. He says men can go in women's bathrooms. Men can go in women's sports. Men can go in women's private play. How is that fair? So women have fought for years, for decades, for decades and decades. All right. You obviously you could say a century, but in order to have fairness in sports, fairness and opportunity, and now just because Princess thinks he's a girl, he gets to go join the girls' team. Like, are you out of your mind? What parent with a spine or a backbone is okay with this? I'm not going to comply. I will never comply with this. I will fight it for as long as I need to fight it until it's dead in the dustbin of history and people look back on it and say, man, that was some batshit crazy stuff, right? And it's going to happen because eventually people are going to come to their senses, whether it's 4 years later, like we're seeing with the COVID booster and the COVID shot, or it's, 2 or 3 years. Eventually, it's going to die. It's going to be scattered into the wind, and people are going to say, God, that was the dumbest thing that we ever saw happen. Why did we let why did we let men into women's sports? I don't know, because you guys are idiots and you have no brain cells left. Maybe it's the psychosis and delusions from the shot you got, right? We know all you guys got the shots. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe your brain is rotted out because of the COVID shots. It's a possibility. It's in the data. Data doesn't lie. So moving on, shorter show tonight. I'm glad of it, because this is a lot to cover. But in Legal Eagles tonight, right? It was Evan who brought this up. We're going to start taking a little more time, maybe dissecting some cases, maybe on some other attorneys, having a little fun with this stuff. But here's one that's interesting. And again, Legal Eagles is packed this week, Amanda says. No videos, apparently. But we're going to do this because AstraZeneca has finally admitted in court documents that its COVID-19 vaccine can cause blood clots. So if you guys remember this, I was telling everybody this. Shit, man, it's been more than 3 years. It was early on into 2021, January, February. People were dropping like flies. They were flying people in air vacs. Blood clots everywhere. Stroke. People are stroking out everywhere. Definitely wasn't the COVID vaccine, right? Because they said it wasn't. It was safe and effective. And if it was the COVID vaccine, then all you little virtue signaler, little smack rabbits, all right, that no one wanted to deal with anymore because you're running. You're lying. Okay, but like the data is showing it, and like people are dropping everywhere. There's like people are stroking out, and now we're seeing in Japan all the 80-year-olds. They're getting cancer. They're having strokes. They're having blood clots. It definitely wasn't the vaccine. AstraZeneca finally admits in court documents the jibber jab that they were putting out can cause blood clots. But it wasn't them. Well, it wasn't that. So then CHD, Children's Health Defense, asked the Supreme Court to hear a case alleging that the FDA misused emergency power to authorize COVID shots for children. And this did happen. We know it happened. We know it happened everywhere. Again, the fact that this is still being recommended and they're still brain dead. Let me tell you something. If you are a parent and you are trying to get your child vaccinated, you are an idiot. You are an absolute moron idiot. All right. You deserve to lose your child because every ounce of data out there, including data from our own CDC that says children have a 0% chance of dying from COVID, but they have a way like a 4,000% chance of suffering adverse events from the vaccine, and you're still giving it to them? Woo-woo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You need mental health therapy. You need meds. You need training, and you need to have your kids taken away from you. I said what I said, right? Arizona Republican Party declares COVID-19 injections biological and technological weapons, passes a ban the jab resolution. They've also done this in different counties in Florida. Amazing. Utah and Florida passed laws intended to prevent the WHO from overriding states' authority. If we do one thing here in Nevada, if the governor, and again, I don't care what some people say, there's a number of candidates that I'm also going to be supporting that may or may not be endorsed by the governor. I was supporting them first. I'm going to continue supporting them because we absolutely cannot lose the veto here. Whether you like Lombardo, hate Lombardo, think he's a bad guy, good guy, he vetoed more bills than any governor ever has done in Nevada. And if he loses that, it's going to be LA, Houston, Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, all over here in Nevada. And no way is that going to be something I sit back and watch. So there's a number of candidates running for state and for assembly that I 100% am going to support, but I'm going to go to them and I'm going to ask them. One of them happens to be Carrie Buck. Okay. I'll tell you that right now, only because I intend to go to her and say, Carrie Buck, I want you to work on a bill, a couple bills. One of them is going to be a bill that prevents them from doing whatever they're doing in the skies, call it whatever you want to call it. But if Tennessee can ban some of this stuff, I want to ban it. If Louisiana and Florida can put through bills that say no matter what happens, we're not going to allow the World Health Organization to take control of our state, I am absolutely going to go to these people and say, I want said similar bills passed here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I don't care what anybody says. If it comes down to, I need to support a couple of these folks so that we don't lose the governor's veto, and then my support for them maybe can get one of these bills passed, I'm okay with that. Put me on blast, get pissed off, have a freak out session. I don't care. But it was Travis and it was even Spencer that said, absolutely, we're going to get something for it. So we're going to work on 3 or 4 things that, by the way, have 80% support nationwide. And we're going to make sure that we get something out of it. You want our support, we'll give you some support, but we want to make sure that there's not men participating in women's sports, that if they passed a bill similar like this in Tennessee and the governor signed it, we want something like that here. And if we can keep the WHO, the World Health Organization, out of the state of Nevada, meaning we don't have to follow anything they say, you bet your sweet ass I'm going to support that stuff, among other things. Among other things. Just to keep it lightly. So here we go. Massachusetts House Democrats vote against a bill to prioritize homeless veterans for shelter, arguing that illegal immigrants need more support because they don't speak English. Oh my God, dude. Like, this really happened. This really happened in Massachusetts. They said, to our veterans, because the illegal immigrants that came here illegally, okay, you have men that died, all right? Men and women that went to war and that suffered debilitating effects, disabled veterans living on the streets. And now the Massachusetts House Democrats are saying, forget them. These guys don't speak English. They need more help. The other group, they went and served our country, okay? All right, they sacrificed for our country. They don't deserve the same respect because these people who came here illegally broke the law. And let me tell you something, guys. This is the truth. You guys don't realize this, and I'm not saying this about everyone. Trump didn't mean about everyone, but he stated a fact. And you Democrat libtard idiots can't process this in your little brains. They absolutely emptied their prisons and their jails in so many of these countries, and they sent them to America. So by doing that, they've sent rapists and murderers and drug dealers and domestic violence abusers here. Yes, they have. They've done that. Not all of them are here. Okay, not all of them that came here. But I can promise you, the ones that were let out of their jails and actually were told you will be rearrested if you don't go north, young man, they came here. So yes, rapists and violent criminals, murderers, drug dealers, sex offenders, they've all come to America. They've come here illegally. That's a fact. You don't like it, it's a fact. And I am not, Joey Gilbert is not saying that about the immigrant. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just stating a fact that they let these people out of their mental health institutions, out of their prisons, out of their jails, and sent them to the United States. Fact. Look it up.
Joey, I made a 30-second video yesterday on what happened in Maryland. Can we play it real quick?
Oh, absolutely we can play what happened in Maryland.
House Democrats reject giving Massachusetts homeless veterans preference over migrants in Shelter System Amendment 698. Homeless veterans prioritization for shelter assistance was rejected on a 27-129 roll call vote. In a few words, Massachusetts Democrats are telling you that illegals take a priority over veterans. How much longer are you going to let this slide? Get them out.
It's Massachusetts, not Maryland. But I think you get the point, guys. Like, again, and so this was like earlier in the show, people will take some stuff out of context. When I talk about Black Americans, African Americans, I don't see, I see people. The fact of the matter is that demographic, because everything is by metrics, is leaving the Democrat Party because they're done with the nonsense. They have family members who serve. They love this country. That's a slap in the face. A slap in the face. But one of the big things that's really happening is the whole replacement theory. they've lost these demographics. So now they're importing people to vote for their shenanigans because now even these folks have had enough. All right. When you see people, I'm from Chicago. I could talk about Chicago. I could talk about Chi-Town. When you see people in Chi-Town are done and they're voting for Trump, it should tell you everything you need to know. Here's some cool stuff, though. You know, I don't know who this, I think his name's Governor Lee. This Tennessee governor sounds like a stud. I mean, we'll have to do a, you know what? Remind me. Boone Cutler. Amanda, write this down. Boone Cutler, a dear friend of the show, a dear friend of the kid, all right, the champ, all right, me talking about myself in third person, deal with it. And Wade, the Cutler family is in Tennessee. Let's make sure we bring them on. Let's bring a couple folks from Tennessee on. Let's talk about what this governor is doing. So the Tennessee governor signed a Baby Olivia Act requiring public schools to show students video of unborn babies developing in the womb. Why? Because they're not just a clump of cells, you degenerates, okay? They're not just a clump of cells. So this is going to be exciting. And here's another one. Tennessee governor signs bill allowing teachers and staff to carry guns in school on school grounds. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? All right. And here's another one. Tennessee governor, oh, I already said that, but I'll say it again. This Tennessee governor did sign a bill to prevent, I'm not going to say the word because I've been told it could get me banned from stuff, but he signed something preventing spraying of certain chemicals in the sky that do harm. Call it whatever you want to call it. And again, geniuses, they don't ban things that don't exist. Because as I said last time, in order to get a bill passed and then signed by a governor, there has to be testimony. There has to be evidence. There has to be facts, okay? And witnesses called in. And so obviously there was enough stuff there to ban whatever they were spraying in the sky. Okay? Spraying in the sky. I like this one. This is awesome. I wish we had a video on this. Travis, you should have found this. Michael Avenatti flips the script on Stormy Daniels and is now willing to testify on Trump's behalf. Oh my God. You know, and I know the founder Against Gays Against Groomers in Tennessee as well. Mickey Cutler. Is that who we're talking about? We know who it is. Friend of the show, worked for the firm. God, this is going to be an exciting show. The Tennessee show. You know what we should do? You know what we should do, Evan? Evan, we should do this. We should do all 50 states. We're going to bring a guest on from every state in the union that knows a little something about a little something and talk about a little something. That's right. That's right. And I said some bad words tonight, so Leslie's freaking out down in Vegas, wanting to wipe my mouth out with soap, but it's okay because it's all for the good of America. It's for the good of America. So here's another one. And again, I mean, I got to jump ahead for a second because this is hysterical. Okay, so if it's not about letting illegal votes, why would the governor, the fake, false, installed puppet, everybody knows Carrie Lake won the governor of Arizona in Atlanta. They cheated. It was insane. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? Okay, and so then what does Katie Hobbs do? That nasty little troll. She vetoes a bill requiring proof of residency to vote in Arizona. I mean, come on, guys. Like, but illegals can't vote. Okay, so then why would you veto a bill that says you have to have proof of residency to vote? I mean, they're just such ugly trolls and such despicable human beings. They have no business in office, which is exactly why they're in office. Because they're trolls. Okay. Wyoming GOP governor vetoes bill to require proof of residency to vote. Secretary of State says he is enabling Biden and the most radical leftists in America who are trying to help illegal immigrants vote. So I didn't know that. That's amazing. Why would Wyoming GOP governor? So again, he's not a GOP governor if he vetoed that. He's a slapdick, okay? And he's someone that has no point or no place in politics. The stream snipe took a dive, selling Saturday night. Okay, so it is what it is, right? It is what it is. These guys are pretending to be Republicans. We need to run these people out of office anywhere in the country where they're not putting forth honest, criteria to vote in our elections. One of them being you should have proof of residency, proof of citizenship, proof of anything that you're an American citizen, and you can't be an illegal or a foreigner voting in our elections. So here's another one. NYC reaches 2 million settlement in toxic whiteness discrimination case after replacing 3 white women with less qualified people of color. That's DIE for you, which stands for didn't earn it. Everybody knows it. And then the next one. I love this. El Paso DA indicts 140 illegal aliens on rioting charges after leftist county judge dismissed their case. So there is some hope left, I guess, in America. There is some hope left. A little bit, not much, but a little bit. But again, guys, you know what? Before we get to my favorite part of the evening, let's freestyle here a little bit, because I want everybody to know, like, Joey Gilbert is not against free speech. People have seen me. I just put a post on these idiots, okay, knuckleheads out in front of the courthouse down here in Reno protesting. They don't even know what they think they're protesting Israeli occupation or for Hamas or for Palestinians. A bunch of knuckleheads that I swear to God, if you asked them a question, they wouldn't be able to answer it, but they're all in masks because apparently you can only protest against Israel if you're wearing a face diaper. And you don't want me to call you out on it, that you're being used like a little tool, because you are a little tool. And you should have some really proud parents that you're being marched out in front of the courthouse in a face diaper in May 2024 in the heat, because that's doing anything for you other than proving that you have no ability to think for yourself. You know what? I would respect you a little bit, maybe even a little bit, if you didn't have a face diaper on. All right. All these knuckleheads, all these morons, these little babies, okay, these wannabes across the country. Again, I'm not calling you out across the country for protesting against Israel, for protesting against what people might be seeing. Amanda will lose her shit. Perceived injustice in Gaza because they're bombing kids and whatever. I think Israel absolutely has a right to defend itself. How it's doing so is questionable. What they're doing is questionable. How they're going about it is questionable. Those are things we have to talk about. But kids on college campuses hurting other kids, kids on college campuses ripping down the American flag, preventing other students, from going to their classes, from pushing past, law enforcement officers trying to harm and cause damage to college campuses. You don't get to do that. You don't get that. But I will say this, and I asked, DC Drano, I did put a post up. Okay. So how was it okay for them to burn literal city blocks to the ground? Okay. Why was it okay for Black Lives Matter activists to destroy businesses, loot businesses, burn buildings, we were thrown out of school board. We were thrown out of county commission because we didn't have a face diaper on. But these people could go anywhere, do whatever they wanted to. And actually, Muriel Bowser, that knucklehead, idiot, 2-bit brainless moron in DC as mayor, didn't see a problem with Black Lives Matter looting, burning, and murdering and doing what they did. But then it's not okay for these people to protest against Israel. I think, look, let them protest, let them do whatever they want, but they don't get to break things. They don't get to shut down the school business. They don't get to prevent kids and students from going and coming from classes. They don't get to break things. They don't get to take down the American flag, right? There was kids at the University of North Carolina, fraternity boys that protected the flag. God bless those guys. But enough is enough is enough. And we know, Mandy's right. We know who did it, because Soros gave Black Lives Matter $253 million through his Open Society Foundation, and not a penny of it made it back to the Black community. Not a penny of the Black Lives Matter money made it back to help Black lives. Fact, look it up. Again, I know some of the stuff I say on here is controversial. It's supposed to be. I don't give a damn. If you don't like it, those are facts, okay? Those are facts, and if you don't like it, go find someone else to cry about it too, because we don't care here. Or, as Candace Owens says, get a helmet. Get a helmet. So now, again, I want to remind you one more time, because it's in blue right here, and Amanda puts it in blue. Did you guys see Biden talking about reading stuff that's on your teleprompter? Did you guys see Biden reading? So he was saying like whatever, and 4 more years, pause. He read the pause. And I put a funny little thing, Evan, if you're watching this or when you watch it, I put a funny little thing up of that, then they showed Ron Burgundy at the end. Could you please roll that again a bunch of times this week? Because it's hilarious. And so now we need 2 minutes for this segment, D's Nuts, approximately total video playtime. And again, for those of you that don't know what D's Nuts is, if you haven't put it together yet, if you're not at that level, you need a slap, right? Okay. But D's Nuts is Amanda and Travis and Evan. It's our time to show you just how absolutely out of their mind some people are, or how just brain dead, silly, stupid, whatever you want to call it, some folks act in this country. And we like to showcase it. We like to have a little fun. We like to point at them like, ha, ha, ha. But I'll tell you something. You know what? I really wish folks would start doing this across the country. I really wish when people saw folks in masks, you just pointed at them and started laughing. Because just to think that it's been 4 years and you're still wearing a mask and you can't think for yourself and you're scaring children, and you parents out there that I see in the airport that have your kids in masks, shame on you. You have absolutely lost your mind. And the worst part about it is I do criminal defense. I do very small amounts of family law. I have to see it, right? 4 years ago, and let's just say in the fall of 2019, if you were one of these nut job, out of your mind, deranged liberal parents and forced your kid in a mask during cold and flu season, they would have come and taken your kid from you. But now apparently it's okay to do it. No, it's not. Get a clue, you psychopaths. Let's roll D's Nuts and go straight into the videos, and we'll be back here to laugh about it and wrap up.
D's Nuts.
Oh my god, guys, I'm freaking out. What am I gonna do? Just kidding, I already scheduled the appointment. I am what conservatives fear! Fuck, that's good.
Why should the university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students. Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you? If the answer is no, then you should allow basic, I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately, in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries, we want to take over this building. Now would you please bring us food and water?
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid.
They're stopping the delivery.
We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop it violently.
They haven't stopped it.
I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
Hey,
I'm transgender. Okay? You're a
man.
I'm a trans woman.
You're not a trans woman. You're a man. I do. What if my daughter was in there and you walked in there?
It don't matter.
It matters to me.
I am a female.
You are a man.
I need to be advised female.
My daughter goes into those bathrooms and no man needs to be in there. You understand me? You are a man. Start acting like a man.
Do something.
Act like a man.
I was born into sex.
So what? You look like a man. You got a man chest, you got man legs, you got a man face, you got man arms. So what? You don't belong in the women's bathroom. Have a nice day, sir.
I mean, I don't know who wins the D's Nuts. I mean, honestly, like, listen, if you're such a godless sicko that you think making a video about, making an appointment for an abortion, good for you. Good luck, lady. You know what? I can't wait to see where your life takes you and what you end up like later in life. Awesome. again, and you know what? I'm not taking a crack at anybody that's had to do it. It's doing it like that. Trust me. That's not called for. That's out of control. That's a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that you would do that. And again, like I said, you know what? I'm not gonna, call out anybody. I mean, things happen, is what it is. I am pro-life. I will always be pro-life. I will always encourage pro-life. But again, in this state of Nevada, women have a right to choose. It is what it is. Until the people change it, that's what it is. But that was sick. Now, candidate number 2, another clueless, typical Ivy League dingbat, okay, that doesn't know, hasn't figured it out yet. Again, you guys want to be revolutionaries, but you want food brought to you because of your meal plan? Like, I mean, are you kidding me? Throw these idiots out of school and be done with them. And then finally, last but not least, if that dude, if that man, okay, is ever in a bathroom with a girl, okay, is not only not acceptable, but if I'm ever present, it's going to go down so fast. And again, like, I don't know what's been taking so long. All these guys challenging men, okay, dudes dressed as women, challenging men to fight. I don't know why someone hasn't just smacked them one, let them do the bunny rabbit on the ground. They're calling you out. They're coming. Once a guy fronts at you and makes a little move, drop his ass like a bad habit. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand what's taking so long. Once it happens enough times, goes viral enough times, trust me, they will stop it. Okay? Yes, I am encouraging violence on people pretending to be women that are then coming out and threatening and getting physical in the faces of other people. Defend yourself, defend your women, so we can put an end to this nonsense. Again, guys, I want to thank you for stopping by Gloves Off with JG. And again, I'm telling you now, please share this, but I'm going to tonight, with a separate email, create a new Facebook page, because we need to do something differently here. And again, we're going to be playing with the format. We're going to stir some things up a little bit. We're going to have a little bit more fun, because both Amanda and Evan have come up with some ideas, even Travis, and we like to listen to our people, and also suggestions coming from supporters of the show. So I just want to say thank you again for joining me on Gloves Off. We love you. God bless you. Stay in the fight. Get in the fight. Follow us, like us, subscribe to our Substack, and be a part of Gloves Off. Take care.